I'd like to point out
Do
that I
you want
finished
me to
one.
tell you what that probably means?
That it's not poured enough?
No.
No.
Do you like? Because I haven't smelled them, so I feel like this is a fair hint to give you guys. Not because I haven't had any of these, except that the Scotch, which was like 8 years ago, that's probably the Scotch.
That's the one in the blue bottle?
Yeah.
Is that because it doesn't go through barrels?
It goes through barrels, but it goes through French oak barrels, or it goes through used bourbon barrels.
Oh, so it's not
Like used
it's
barrels.
not absorbing that color because the color's already absorbed.
Well, no, but French, you have to understand a couple things. French oak is far more dense. The staves, like the grain, is denser than American oak.
Oh.
So American oak is really coarse, and there's
Yeah.
bigger gaps for the fluid to get pulled into and breathed out of.
Oh, okay.
And Scotland is cold. Kentucky is not most of the year.
Fair.
Ah, that's fair.
So the diurnal shift in Kentucky is far larger than the diurnal shift in Scotland. And that temperature change is what breathes in liquid in the oak and then presses it back out.
So temperature allows breathing between wood.
Temperature change.
Oh, okay. Same like expanding, contraction. Mm-hmm. Same deal.
Same idea.
Oh, okay.
Diurnal shift.
So is French oak good to make furniture out of?
Yeah, it'd be a harder wood than American oak.
Okay.
But it just, for those two reasons, for the density of the oak and the limited temperature swings, it just takes a lot longer for Scotch to age. That's why bourbon, traditionally the sweet spot for bourbon is like 12 years. The sweet spot for Scotch is like 18.
Jeez.
And it keeps getting better. Bourbon will actually start to get worse if you age it too long, unless you're really, really good at what you do. Like you know exactly how to char the barrels, how you're controlling temperature. Like you're doing everything right. You do anything wrong in bourbon, like in Kentucky or in most of this country, and it'll start to taste over oaked and overaged.
Huh.
And for that to happen in Scotch takes forever.
So, with the temperatures that we get up here, could we cheese ball Scotch if we just distilled it in Tahoe?
You could probably do it anywhere. What do you mean by cheese ball?
Well, instead of making 18, like, can we, like, do the same process but make it?
Well, that's
in
what these
a
American
temper-
single malts are supposed to be.
Oh, okay. So these ones from America are just speeding up the process that would normally take whatever 18 years.
Yes, and most of them aren't peated. Although there are some that are. I almost bought one called Tire Fire, which is heavily peated.
Tire fire?
Yeah,
And peated is.
peated is peat moss, is what they use to fuel the fires that they dry out the barley with,
Okay.
and it picks up the flavor.
What's that stuff then from the Isle of Mull?
The Islay, the one that we have back there.
No. There's one that specifically I had it a long time ago, but it's from the Isle of Mull.
Okay,
And I think it's a Scotch. It's very peaty.
most scotches are.
Like this was like more peaty than I've ever had.
Yeah, some scotches are more peated than others.
Okay, yeah. I just remember it was a really nice bottle from the Isle of Mull, and it was very expensive.
So,
And I had no appreciation for it. I was just like, oh God, this burns.
yeah, scotch is definitely an acquired taste.
Yeah, I learned
Some
that.
people just never acquire it. Some people, especially if you are a big bourbon drinker, will just never find a flavor for single malts, much less peated single malts.
Oh, see, I feel like the bourbon's a little easier to pick up
Yeah.
flavor on.
I think so too.
Now that we've been doing this for a while, I feel like my bourbon palate's getting better. Mm-hmm. But if you put other things in front of me, I'm not having it.
Well, we're gonna find out.
That's right.
So, what'd you think of that video, Kevin?
I found that video highly entertaining
It's
because
so
I
good.
think I would have done the same thing
It's
if I was
so
him.
good.
I think they made a couple of serious miscalculations.
No,
I want to
really?
ask
Come on.
with how he ran into the trailer and everything. He's not liable or anything, or
So
could
he
there
is
be
under
lawsuit?
investigation, although we don't know for what.
Yeah, some they said they're looking at other people are looking at it like
I mean, people definitely have questions, but it wasn't the regular police; it was tribal police on tribal land.
Oh yeah, you fucked up there.
yeah.
So
Yeah, see,
the
that's
rules
part
are
of
a
the video
little bit
they don't tell
different
you.
there, and the tribal police are definitely cowboys.
Yeah, they don't care.
What?
Yeah, I mean, he didn't listen, dude. That guy's Officer Honey Badger from now on because he just fucking barrels through that trailer like it's nothing.
No, his name is Drives Through Trailer now. His officer drives through trailer.
The first time I saw that, I was like, oh my god. Listen, because protesting is a thing right now, pretty much across the whole country.
Yeah.
Right now, there are police departments all across this country going, why don't we get to do that?
I wish
Yeah.
we could.
Why didn't we do that?
Yeah.
Oh, because we'd be on the 6 o'clock news and we'd be in court. That guy's going to get a medal.
They say he's under investigation, but the reality is in Nevada, it probably gets swept under the rug.
He's getting a key to the tribal lands. That's
Yeah.
all I know.
I mean, I can't be mad at him because at the same time, one, it's tribal police. Two, what are you doing in the middle blocking a fucking highway?
Well, and you kind of have to understand the access to Burning Man to begin with. There's one road in. It's the middle of nowhere. There's really one road in, and it's like 2 hours on that road.
Yeah, isn't it? It's past Pyramid Lake, right?
Yes.
Like you're going through
yeah.
the Pyramid Lake Reservation,
the,
right?
the closest town to Burning Man is Gerlach.
Okay.
I mean, the playa is desolate.
Right. That's Paiute land.
Yes.
Okay. So they're on the Paiute Reservation.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought. Yeah.
That's
they're
where they
like,
can
oh.
have Burning Man.
Yeah.
That's like the most random place, too.
It is.
To like, oh, we're going to protest right here. Like that's where you picked.
We're going to create a traffic jam that could possibly be 100 miles long.
Go pick the intersection where people turn off onto that road 2 hours beforehand.
Yeah.
At least then you have to deal with the sheriff.
Like, at the very least, find the place where the tribal land starts, where the reservation starts, and get on the other side of that, so that
like-
NHP is forced to respond.
Yeah.
Like 100 feet in front of that.
Yeah. Because NHP, though sometimes they can also be cowboys, far more civil, generally speaking, than the tribal police.
They would have had a conversation.
Yeah, there would have been talking.
Yeah, there would have been some talking. And then some pepper spray. That's the difference is that, Highway Patrol would have been like pepper spray.
I mean-
the whole group.
Is that technically peaceful protest with being in the street chain there?
No, well, you're never going to... Listen, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Protesting is fully protected under the First Amendment. However, as with almost everything in the Constitution, there are limitations. You can't do it in a courtroom. You can't do it where, like, in the middle of a road where it's a safety hazard or where you're interfering with the flow of traffic substantially. And this isn't like, okay, it's one thing if it's a freeway, like you block up a freeway, right? Causes a traffic jam, but it's really like everyone is no more than one exit away from being able to get off and get gas.
Yeah.
There's not even gas stations out there.
Yeah.
Gerlach doesn't have enough gas to get gas to everyone in Burning Man. And they
Yeah.
flat out say that. They're like, bring reserve gas, bring reserve water, bring everything you need for a week because the town of Gerlach cannot supply 100,000 people or however many people show up to that thing right now.
Right.
57 or 60,000.
Yeah, the bajillions of people.
Yeah. Like, there's no chance. You will run Gerlach dry. It will take about an hour and a half. And then if you don't have it, you're not getting it. So, like, say you've got someone, you've got a 50-mile traffic jam and someone has like some sort of medical emergency. What happens? You just killed somebody.
That's those
Yeah.
people in the video were saying. Like the people, hey, people need to get through like for medical reasons.
Yeah.
You can't be blocking the road.
Yeah.
And those people are like, we're gonna chain ourselves to this trailer. Go fuck yourself.
You do that for 3 or 4 hours and like cars start running out of gas.
Yeah.
Electric cars start running out of charge.
Well, no, God, no.
That's
No.
worse. There's definitely no charging stations.
I draw the
on
line at you telling me that someone is taking their fucking Tesla to Burning Man. Okay, I draw the line at there. That's too much.
I mean, there's a chance.
You shut the fuck up, Ken.
Hey, they're working on that truck still.
Whose dumbass would fucking take their Tesla out to the middle of the... Look, I get it's alkaline.
What if they're
We have a
not? What if they're
whole
not
state
going
to
to
the
Burning
west.
Man? What if it's someone from Gerlach who's going into Reno?
That's a bit of a stretch on a charge, but
You could do it.
I'll accept that one. I will not accept someone taking their
It's not
Tesla
more
as
than
fucking Burning
350
Man.
miles.
Still, I mean, what are you gonna do? It's alkaline desert. So you're just gonna throw some positive, negative cords out in the ground and be
Yeah,
like,
totally.
it'll charge. It's fine. Don't worry
Little bit
about
of
it.
water.
Listen, that toxic land has to be good for something.
I'll tell you know. I just thought about this though. For Burning Man, all right, genius idea. But I would get a fucking tanker truck of gas
And one of water.
and a water truck, like Mad Max them up, you know, and then just drive around Burning Man, offering gas with like flames spitting out the top of the fucking truck,
Exorbitant prices.
and a dude with a guitar on the top just wailing hard.
Tell me that truck from the Stephen King movie isn't already just fitted for Burning Man.
Oh, dude, from fucking Maximum Overdrive,
Yeah.
the one with the clown face in the front,
Yeah, the goblin
which
face.
also was in Enter the Sandman, which nobody remembers. But if you watch the music video for Enter the Sandman, it's the same truck.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Did
But
you bring us in?
I don't remember Enter the Sandman being in that movie. It's all AC/DC songs.
Yeah,
We've been going for a while.
I figured.
We've been going for. For about 11 minutes now.
I thought so.
Yeah.
Well,
Hardcore cold open. Right there.
welcome to the Daily Torch. We're obviously talking about things that don't matter.
Well, hey.
So
this-
here's my
this
problem.
matters.
Here's my other problem with Burning Man, right? Because everyone's like,
Oh,
we're gonna go
water.
exist off the land, and oh yeah, how much water did you take out? I don't know, 50 gallons. How much gas did you take out? I don't know, 20 gallons. How much food did you take out? Oh, it was like $2,000 worth.
Okay.
Okay,
That doesn't
but you're
count
living
as-
off the land.
Yeah.
I don't think they say living
They're
off
like,
the
we're
land.
surviving. Oh my God, you've never heard them talk.
Some of them do
okay,
say that, yes.
I have not, but
It's ridiculous.
I
It's ridiculous.
I don't
You're in an
underst- I don't
air-conditioned
understand.
RV with supplies enough for a month.
that's camping.
Yeah, that's what they're doing at Burning Man.
Yeah, that's clamping.
Just camping
Clamping.
in the middle of a desert.
They're like, we're surviving. I'm like, no,
You're
you're not.
you're just partying.
Yeah. I read an article. It's basically like the overriding tenet of Burning Man at this point is just hedonism,
Yes.
and everything else is just a lie.
That's fair.
I also saw a headline that was even better than that. Burning Man is a chance for the rich to cosplay like they're poor.
Oh, that's deep. Oh, I like that. That's,
Right?
That's
That one was
perfect.
good.
That's perfect.
Yeah, I just at this point, I mean, I've seen I've seen Pat's videos from like the late '90s,
And
Oh,
it
yeah.
was. It looked like it was lots of fun.
and that was an experience for sure
Yeah.
for those guys. I don't know what it is now. I really don't.
Coachella in the desert.
Yeah,
I mean,
it doesn't make a lot of sense to me anymore. Now it's just, a further out music festival with some
yeah.
art
No, that's
and a big
that's-
fire at the end.
Yeah.
And drugs. Lots
And
of
a big
drugs.
and lots
Yeah.
of lots of drugs. Lots of. I bet the DEA loves this time of year.
They used to send people out there. I don't know that they do anymore.
I would.
I don't know that they care anymore because it's federal land, so it was technically it's tribal land, so it's federal authority.
Don't they build an airport out there?
A landing strip.
Yeah.
For the rich and famous. to
People
fly in.
skydive in, yeah, and they do it too.
I
They'll
mean-
fly in for a couple days and then bail.
That just sounds like a good way to move drugs.
Yeah, that just
Right?
sounds like a poor
Like
person
you're
compound.
clearly going to take a little too proper from some South American country, right? Which also conveniently built a random airstrip out in the middle of some coca field somewhere, like that Tom Cruise movie. And all of a sudden, conveniently, in the middle of the Nevada desert, another random airstrip just pops up out of nowhere, which your two prop little Cessna loaded down with whatever just moseys on in. And then equally gets distributed amongst all the clientele you could possibly need before anything. It's genius. I would love to just go out there and just like count planes coming in. Be like, oh, there's a plane. Oh, there's a plane. Where's that plane come from?
There.
Is that funky one?
Yeah.
Which one is it? Is it A?
It's A.
A is funky?
It might just be really young. And he smells the youngest of the
Take
four.
A.
So
Oh,
because we haven't
A doesn't smell too. I like
because
A.
we haven't said anything about anything with these whiskeys, we decided because I made the comment that I think single malts hold up to cigars better than anything else.
We're gonna prove it.
We're
Oh.
going to try. And these are all, for the most part, whiskeys that none of us have had. So the guess is going to be completely useless.
Whoa!
Off the smell,
Wow!
my guess is B being Stranahan.
Oh,
All right. Is B?
Yeah.
B. Huh?
That makes sense.
A has
Tell
a,
me, listen. Tell me you don't get just nothing but green apple on C.
Is that what that is?
That is. That's Granny Smith all day.
Yeah. It's
Hello-
just green
hello,
apple.
Hello.
It's pie apples.
Wow,
Or apple.
that's. Does it taste like apple? That is straight up apple.
It's just green apple.
Does it taste like it?
I haven't tasted any of them yet. I'm gonna start. I'm going down in the back with the nose, and I'm gonna go down in the back with palate.
No.
Doesn't taste like apple.
Unfortunately,
It's being blocked by your hand.
I don't know what that is. I don't know if I like that. That's ooh.
A smells more pungent to me than the rest. Like it has, it's a stronger smell than the rest.
To me, B smells the cleanest.
Yeah.
Like it's okay. So in why like when you're tasting wines, there's a term varietally correct. B tastes the most varietally correct.
And what's
To a
that
single malt.
term mean?
So in wine, there's like Cab, Pinots, and those are all varietals, right? And there's sort of a standard expression, like a reference. Like a Cab is going to be all black fruits, blackberries, currants, lots of oak usually. Pinot is going to be more savory. There's going to be meats and tobacco, more savory notes, less sweet notes, right? So when you smell one that smells like Pinot in your head or Cab in your head, like the
okay.
average of all the Pinots that you've ever had, it's
like-
varietally correct.
It's the thing in your head that goes, "That's Cab."
Yeah, and that's what B does for me.
Oh, so
B
just
smells
says-
like a single malt.
Okay. You just go single malt. Boom.
A smells not good.
Really? You don't like A?
There's a note in there I don't like.
Comparatively, yeah.
It's cucumber. There's cucumber in A.
Is that what that is?
That's what it is to me. I don't like that. Oh, God. Nope. Not a fan.
That I don't get cucumber.
I do.
I mean, I get something that tickles the nose that I don't appreciate.
I get
Maybe that I don't know. I don't eat cucumber.
I don't either. I stay away from them because I don't like them.
That's the devil's vegetable right there. So.
All right, let's do. I've got scores for the noses. Let's do some palates. Anyway, what else is? Hey, I got my points back in F1. Not all of them, most of them.
It's 17 from the 23 you lost. You're 6 points.
Yes, and I'm still up by like 142
Yeah, I don't. I
points. or
mean,
something.
I'm not.
He's
you
gonna
know.
have a hard time catching me.
You say that.
I do.
There's still like 9 races. You know.
I know, but his top 3 drivers are the same as my top 3 drivers.
That's true.
And he's still camping on Stroll, even though Stroll is not a great driver and that car got slow. Like Alonso, great, because he drives the shit out of that car. He drives it far better than that car deserves.
Right.
So he's still getting a lot of points. But that car is definitely slower than at least 4 of the teams. Disagree?
No, I'm with you 100%. I think that he needs to make some changes because the landscape of Formula has changed for sure. Because that Aston was so up there in the beginning of the year, and whatever package they brought just hasn't worked. Even this last race, they introduced that small little fin on the back there in this sort of kind of gray area of modifications.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Oh, what's that little fin going to do?" And it's like, well, it might change some diffuser air. I mean, the little fin looks like someone took like a paper airplane and just put a little piece of plastic on it and then glued it to underneath where the red light is. I'm like, it's gonna break off. Like I don't know what they put there. It's not made out of any aluminum or anything. It's like cardboard. It's gonna break off. But apparently that was supposed to be like this super effective, and it didn't. It's like if that's what they think is gonna help, they got some other problems. I mean, the pod is redesigned. They did some of the airflow along the back end of the pod where the shark's fin is. Like they elongated the shark's fin. They got rid of the little slots inside.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's helping. I honestly, I don't know what they're doing, because like I'd love to know what they're spending money on, because
Anyway.
it's clearly not what they're gonna do.
So I jumped on Piastri.
Yep.
Traded out Norris.
Okay.
So he's still camping on Norris. I have Piastri.
Okay.
And he refuses to take any of the foreign drivers, like any of the Asian foreign drivers. So I've run Yuki or Zhou. I made the one mistake with Ricardo when he DNF'd. But then he's not racing, so I trade him out. So, but
Yeah.
for all but one race, I've run Yuki or Zhou.
Yeah.
He has run Hulkenberg or Sargent every time. So, I like
I root for Sargent. But
as a number 4 driver right now with what like the way that the cost breaks down.
Yeah.
I think Piastri is the best option
Okay.
unless he DNFs a bunch of races.
I don't see that happen.
And then whether it's Yuki, Zhou, or Ricardo, unless he does the same and somehow alternates and picks the guy, like manages to pick the guy that doesn't DNF, and I just pick the guy that DNFs every race.
Right. You've got it in the bag.
Yeah.
You're down. You're good. No, I mean, yeah, it's a tough call, I think. Although we'll see. I'm curious how this is the race I've been waiting for.
Yeah.
I love Italy when they go. It's such a fun race. It's all speed, good turns. Like, we're going to see some interesting cars. As long as it doesn't rain. It's the one race I needed not to rain. Is that C?
Oh.
Was that C?
Yeah.
C is not good, by the way.
No.
It smells fantastic.
It does.
It does
Oh.
not taste the way it smells. It is.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, there.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
good.
terrible.
Is it because you followed?
No, it's terrible. Oh,
I'm glad I'm not the only one this time that's got
that's
those
bad.
face.
That's really not good. Oh,
Yeah.
what were they thinking?
Did you already try A?
Yes.
Oh, so A was fine.
A's young.
Okay, but
Yeah.
it's not offensive as C was.
No, it's not as offensive as I find the palate.
Fair.
Like the note that I got on the nose didn't come through on the palate.
Okay.
It's just young.
Gotcha.
No. There was a weird aftertaste for me.
For A,
Yeah.
really.
But C is going to be the.
C is
Yep.
C is rough. C is rough.
All right.
D is fine apparently. All right.
I wouldn't
I'm
say
gonna try.
fine.
I'm gonna try A. See here.
The problem, I just don't like single malts as much as I like bourbon. That's the problem.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
A is not bad. It's different. It's definitely different,
Yeah.
but I can live with that. That's not bad. It's not bad. C is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But the worst part is I like the smell of C. Because it's like you said, it's all apple.
Yeah, it's all apple.
It's like a trick. You're like,
but it doesn't
oh,
come
this
through like
smells
it
good.
doesn't
And
come
then
through like that.
As soon as you taste it, you're like, oh God,
No.
what is that?
Okay, I'm going to do the stupid thing now.
What are you doing? Oh, here
Or are
we
you
go.
mixing?
Here we go.
You dick.
Is that all of them?
No.
What is that?
It's just A and
Oh, I can't smell A.
And C
Smell it-
first.
The nose on A is so bad.
Okay, go.
I'm like in the middle with it now.
Oh, did it make it better?
It made it a little better.
You cut C, that's why you cut it with something. And now yeah.
Right now we'll throw a little bit of D in there.
B is.
Oh, worst idea.
Oh,
Still better than
oh
by
God.
itself.
Oh no. Oh no.
What'd you do?
Oh. Oh. B is. Oh. B is terrible.
I like
Oh.
B.
B's my favorite.
Really?
So is
yeah.
mine.
Oh God. Oh, that is
Worst idea.
that's offensive. Oh man.
Worst
Oh.
idea.
Oh, hey, A and C tied for me.
Don't mix all three of them together. I'm just gonna
All right.
No, they're not meant to be mixed, bro.
listen. When you mix A and C, it makes it better.
I am done with these
I
whiskeys.
doubt that.
God, dude, how sad is this after going from what we just tasted to this?
Oh, yeah,
I'm a dick.
you are. Oh.
I used the last to be as a chaser for that 4 mix.
Oh, I'm done with these. I'm done. I got my scores. I'm done.
I really like
That wasn't so bad.
compared to the rest of them. I like B.
Me too. All right.
Yeah.
You ready? We haven't even told people what these are yet.
Nope. Maybe you shouldn't.
It's
not worth trying.
Fair.
I don't even know. Oh, yeah, I'll tell you what. These are all have terrible finishes, though. That's for sure.
Well, I mean, yeah. I think if you would have started off with B, it would have been better. But I started off with A and worked my way down like I was supposed to.
I went both directions. I tried to go both directions of the pound. I couldn't do it. I didn't want to go all the way back with all 4.
Casey started with C.
Oh, dude. A.
I started with C. Yes.
Cucumber, single malt, sour apple, like actually gone bad apple, and then single malt with coffee. That's
Wait,
what's happening
Like,
here.
really quick, just add C to A and try it.
No.
Come on.
Why would I do that?
I mean, you've already tortured yourself
on.
enough.
It probably cuts it. Probably.
All right.
Wait. Okay.
It's like 50-50.
It is.
It's a solid 50-50. Hey, the cucumber note's gone. It actually balances them out a little bit.
That's what I'm saying. Is A and C mixed together worked out.
Oh man. My A and B are tied.
Actually, together they're not bad.
I told you.
It's better by far than both of them separate.
Just don't mix the rest in.
Yeah.
You had to blend it to make it better.
Yeah. They're better together than separate.
Oh, that's
Oh
sad.
my God.
That's sad.
All right. Do you guys want to? Do you want guesses? It doesn't matter.
I can tell you that I feel like the Stranahan's B and the Scotch is going to be C.
Okay.
But I marked A as 59, B as 85, C as 58, and D as 75.
Your B might be higher than all of Casey's scores put together.
I think you're 100% right.
That's not true. I mean, no, because my A and B are 60.
Okay.
C is 45, and D is 40.
Okay. Mine weren't that low. 61A, 77B, 61C. Those are the two that tied. 70 for D.
You know what killed them for me was the finish. I was just
Okay.
I didn't think any of them finished well, so that hurt. That the points got hurt on the finish.
I felt like B finished exactly as it tasted.
Yeah,
it
it had the
wasn't-
same
it-
all the way through, and it lasted a little bit longer than the rest,
it
which
did.
is nice.
It did. Yeah.
All right. You guys want to know what I think?
Go ahead. What do you got?
I'll put my ass on the line here.
Okay.
You guys don't have to. Again, only one of these have I tasted, and it was a solid 8 years ago. All right. A is Yellowstone, B is Stranahan's, C is the Laddie, the Scotch, and D is Westward. Casey's got the answer sheet.
Did he already pull it?
No, he's trying to light a cigar.
So when we were talking about Burning Man, all I could think of is like off the wall things that you thought were a thing when you were a kid, like things you wanted.
Okay.
Like when I was a kid, I wanted a bunch of pillows, and my goal every Christmas was to get one pillow and then have a room where I had pillows stapled to the wall. I didn't know it was a thing and called a padded room at the time, but I wanted it. I wanted it so bad.
They call that an insane asylum.
I know, I fit in perfectly. But that's what I
Which-
wanted.
Explains so much.
You're welcome.
I mean, and here I am. I just wanted like jetpacks and hoverboards and shit.
I mean, I wanted those too, but I mean, one was easier to get than the other two.
See, I've wanted the same thing forever.
Which is
A live-in warehouse.
for what purpose?
Well, I've always wanted like
A lot of space.
a big empty space area, but I want to have like a garage, and then like a cool workstation, and then like a gaming center, like all these things
Wouldn't you have to enclose
like-
some of those off?
inside of a cool warehouse with a living space above.
Okay.
I've always wanted that. I always thought that'd be cool. Turns out that's called a barn dominium, and it's
Oh.
actually a thing. And you can and they're very popular in Texas apparently. So
That would make sense.
yeah.
Because they have a
Sounds
lot of
about right.
land.
Yeah, so
And
turns
a
out
lot
it's a real thing, and I'm not the only one. But you know, the second thing was to go to space.
Well, I mean, the next thing for you to do is buy land.
I've
then
thought
build.
about that. I've thought about buying land, but I don't know. I don't want to pay taxes on it.
Fair.
You know, like I don't want to have land and be like, oh, I have to pay taxes for this land that I own
Every
that
year.
I'm not doing anything with right now. But land's only getting more expensive, so I feel like if I don't buy land now, I'm not gonna be able to.
That is true,
You know.
especially with everybody starting to move in.
Exactly. It's getting crazy out here.
What are we looking at, Casey?
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
Were we
What'd you-
entirely
What
wrong?
did you say, Lane?
Yellowstone, Stranahan's, Laddie, westward.
All right, you cheated.
So I nailed it.
So we both
Yeah.
got B. I got B and
Yellowstone is A.
C.
Stranahan's is B. Brudelock is C. And D is westward.
Fair enough.
So,
did you even try
fucking
with that
cheated.
name?
Yeah, I did.
It's actually not easy to pronounce.
There's too many vowels in this fucking word for one.
I will say this though. Okay, I will say this. Because I like B a lot. However,
Well, yeah, B is the Stranahan's.
all of the flavors popped better and more authentically to what they are when we're not smoking with cigars.
No, there is something to be said, right? Like, we have.
Whether that we didn't like them is irrelevant to this point.
Yeah.
They taste like they taste, even when smoking.
Yes. As we've learned over the last 3 weeks, cigars do play a very critical role.
Especially with bourbons, especially weeded bourbons.
Weed and bourbon.
Weed and bourbons, yeah.
We're not making that mistake again.
I mean, didn't we smoke before we had that Maker's Mark when we did the tasting?
Yeah, but the Maker's Mark was good, and it holds up well.
But also there was, because it wasn't a tasting, I don't think. I think it was,
Well, we did it on a flight, but I could have sworn we did a short with it too.
yeah, but I put space between the cigars and the shorts.
I didn't.
Oh, I do.
Oh, yeah.
I
And-
honestly, I think, here's what it is. I think with weeders, what comes out is the grass note when you're smoking cigars. It's just going to
Okay.
be brighter than at any other time. Like that sort of wheat tinge is going to jump out and stomp on everything else in the glass when you're smoking cigars. I don't know what it is about that combination, but that's what happens. But yeah, speaking of Maker's Mark, they released a reserve, cellar reserve. It's expensive. It's $150. But it's a blend of 11 and 12-year Maker's Marks. It's supposed to be amazing.
That's what Tojo was talking about when I saw him.
Yeah?
Because he's on that list.
Yeah.
That's the one he was talking about. He was talking about the reserve because he just got notified for it.
Yeah.
And when I was talking to him about the one that I have, and I was like, "Oh, but this is the one I have." He's like, "I've never heard of that one." I was like, "Well, I've never heard of the one you're talking about." So
It's supposed to be, I think it's supposed to be a regular addition to their line. I don't know how often it's going to get released, but
will you track
it's
one
spo-
down?
I will.
Sweet,
I will definitely track one down.
Sweet.
I'll track two down.
fair.
One for me and one for the shop.
I did apply to that. Well, I entered in that contest we talked about.
Birthday
Oh,
cake.
yeah. Birthday
Birthday
bourbon.
cake. Yeah,
Birthday
Old Forester
cake.
birthday bourbon.
I
I,
did-
don't know
I
when the
did too.
drawing is.
that's
Yeah.
what I was wondering
Yeah,
if you
3
knew that
shots.
already.
3 shots to win.
And my dad entered. 4.
4 shots.
It's soon. They do it pretty quick.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll come up quick.
There's only, 15 million people in that lottery.
Only.
And
For-
only 800 bottles.
Yeah.
Only.
Hey, we could get lucky.
You never know. You never know.
If we all three get it, that'd be amazing.
That's one of the few allocated bourbons I've never had. Is birthday bourbon.
Birthday
Didn't
bourbon.
you say there was somewhere that had it?
Yeah, Mint and Meat. No.
Was that?
Yeah, Mint and Meat. It was
Yeah.
Mint and Meat in Delhi.
Yeah, because there
And-
was two
and-
different ones that you.
He had the 2021, but he wouldn't part with a shot.
Nope. Not unless you paid.
I learned something
What did you learn? Casey?
yesterday. No, day before, Monday. Whenever Monday was. There is a fantastic sausage place in Carson City.
Really?
Yes. It's called Faucini's.
Where's Faucini's?
It's over in the warehouse district.
Oh, you know what? I think that's where Fandango got all their meats from for Oktoberfest.
Yes, I bet you it was, because they do all in-house sausage.
Yeah, I think it is.
Bratwurst. They apparently also supply all the hot dogs to Costco.
Still don't know where the warehouse district is.
Do you know where the Denny's is?
Out there by you?
Yes.
Off of 395?
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you take that road, and then you take a right on the first road that's on that road, you'll enter like a warehouse.
So that car garage area is.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Drive past the car place, and on the corner is Faucini's. And my God,
One of my grandmas live over there. I
It's-
should probably go visit her.
the prices are ridiculous. It's like $3
Really?
for like a 4-pack,
Oh, wow.
That's cheapest.
and they do like freezer specials. Logan showed up with a box.
Of course he did.
Okay, like a full-on box. He had a box full of sausages, like andouille spicy sausage, bratwurst, cheddar wurst. He paid like $37,
Whoa.
and I tried some of these things. I cooked them up. Oh my God, were they good? So if you're in the area for some tasty, delectable sausage links that are freshly made, give them a shot.
Yeah, because that's Hot Springs Road.
Yeah, right over there.
Yeah, and then you take that right immediately.
So, but the smell in there is amazing. 'Cause you walk in and it's all the spices. They just hit your nose.
You had to go visit it.
I had to go. I was like, dude, I've got to check this place out. There's also a meat market over that way. I haven't tried that yet. Like a butcher shop.
Okay.
I forget what it's called.
I'll have to go check that out next weekend.
Yeah, no, give it a shot. But you have to get
I
there
just-
early because they
If I'm
close
gonna-
like 4.
If I'm going to go to a butcher, I'm going to go to the one up here, Overland.
Well, that's close to you, so yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that and it's just they have such good quality
I
meat.
used to go to the Bentley, but I think they closed down.
Really?
Which one's that one?
That's the one that was off of the road. You know where the police station is in Minden?
Yeah.
If you take that left and follow that road all the way down, it's on the left-hand side.
Like,
Overland always did a good job.
all the way to the factory.
I've never been to Overland. Yeah.
Oh.
Like just before the factory.
It's a competent butcher.
That
And their seafood's really good, too.
they do really good seafood.
Where are they at up here?
They are, you know where,
Keys?
yeah, ish, you know where, what's the name of that pizza place? Grand Central?
Grand Central.
I've never been there. No.
Turn 3 bar?
Is it by the queue?
No, it's
Before.
Just before.
It's just after you turn to go down Tahoe Boulevard.
Okay, so after McDonald's then.
No. After the car wash.
After the car wash?
Yeah, right after
Yeah.
the car wash.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like 50 yards.
50 yards after
The one
car
on the
wash.
right.
Got it.
Yeah, it's the car wash, and then there's like a shopping center.
Oh, I know where that is.
Yeah, in the shopping center is the Grand Central, the Overland, the Turn 3,
Liquor store,
'cause-
Keys Liquor.
Keys Liquor, King's Liquor.
King's Liquor.
King's Liquor.
I thought King's Liquor was the one further up the road.
Maybe.
When you said Overland, I was thinking of Overland Bar down there. And
No, I know, but it's not that.
No,
That's why I
it's-
was confused. I'm like,
yeah.
Overland up here?
No, this
Huh?
Overland Meats.
Yeah.
Got it.
They do good work over there too, though.
Yeah. And they do the same thing. They run specials on stuff. Like every day has a different special.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same thing every week.
Yeah, because if you go, the guy at TK Deli makes his weekly special sandwich off the Overland special.
Yeah.
nice.
God, I miss going to TK Deli.
I've never been to TK Deli. I don't live up here, so that's
It's an
probably
actual deli.
Yeah.
It feels like a real deli.
Not like Minden Meats.
Similar-ish, smaller.
Okay.
Definitely smaller. John's been running that place for what, 50 years now.
Oh, dude, since I was as far back as I can remember. Since I was in high school.
That's everyone's story from going to high school here is, oh yeah, all the times you go to TK Deli to
Yeah.
get sandwiches.
Yeah, as soon as I don't know when you were there, did they still have off-campus lunch for everybody except for freshmen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we'd always, because my buddy worked at Grand Central.
Yeah.
So we'd get free pizzas from Grand Central, and then we'd make him drive us over to TK Deli to get Tahoe turkeys,
Yeah.
because that's the thing you got to do.
The Tahoe turkeys.
The Tahoe turkey, although I'll tell you right now, I think it's still Wednesday. The special is the Lola,
Oh, yeah.
and the Lola is that teriyaki chicken sandwich. Oh man, that's so good.
Dude, you realize we're like 2 weeks away from getting our town back for a few weeks.
Well, your town.
Your town, too.
I don't live here.
You own a business here.
It's not my town.
You own a business here.
It's not my town. I am the knight. Justice.
That's not even possible in Carson City. Carson City closes up at like 10:30.
Except for certain places.
It's done at 10:30.
No, it's not done.
Fandango's still open.
Fandango's open.
That's true. And the restaurant's open 24 hours.
The restaurant's open. The Roberto's is open.
Roberto's, yeah.
The Gold Dust West is open.
I love Roberto's. That place was always
Gold
awesome.
Nugget is open. I'm reaching now.
No, it's not the Golden Nugget. It's the
Just
Carson
like
Nugget.
Carson Nugget, yeah.
Because Golden Nugget is Fertitta's chain.
Well, it's the Carson Nouget on the back because the sign's broken. So
Yes. Oh my God. No, but seriously, like we get our trails back. You can go mountain biking without being inundated by tourists.
no, I'm excited for it actually because
For-
the temperature also gets lower
For
Yeah.
a short while, at least.
for about 3 weeks.
Yeah. No, a little bit longer than that.
Have you taken your bike out?
Yeah.
I'm curious. I was talking to somebody about that. I wonder if we're gonna have a shoulder season with this convention center.
The town is. We might not.
Okay, you think so?
Like this
This
casino, well, I don't know. The casinos will do well with that convention center, but it's not going to help anything. Okay, I can list off the restaurants it's going to help.
All right.
Outside of the corridor. It's
Anything in base camp?
anything in Heavenly Village, Riva Grill, because it's on the water. Probably Cafe Fiore. The Italian restaurant, which is kind of in the corridor, kind of not. The one that's Scusa's sister restaurant, Isabel's.
I don't even know that place.
And that's pretty much it.
Used to be a Caro's.
Yeah.
I just knew
R.I.P.
the only
Caro's.
one I knew about was down in Minden. Christoph's.
Christoph's.
It's okay.
Scusa's is pretty good. They don't change. Their red sauce is really good. Everything else is always the same, so it gets kind of boring. But the red sauce is good.
Is Capiche still open?
Yeah.
Somebody told me Capiche closed,
Really?
but I don't know. I haven't been there in forever.
I never understood how they got business. That's such a bad spot.
I know, but the restaurant's really nice. The food's good.
Yeah, the food was good, but it's just a bad spot.
It is a weird place for that restaurant.
There's another restaurant further down by where Sam's Bar used to be.
Toast.
Is it called Toast now?
The Indian Chinese fusion restaurant.
I don't know. I haven't been in. So it's been like 4 different things. And what it used to be a really high-end French restaurant, and it was fantastic.
It's called Toast now.
Yeah.
And it's a Indian Chinese fusion restaurant.
That never has any business.
No. They're on DoorDash though.
Are they?
Yeah. That's the only reason I know what they have. Like I've seen the menu. It sounds kind of interesting, but every time I drive by there, I'm like, how do you park there one and then
Yeah, that's
like,
awkward.
I
It's
can
a
tell you
weird
what
spot.
I finally had was jalapenos after that hiking to Tallac.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Oh,
we stopped there and ate
yeah.
it. They're actually really good.
Oh,
They
how'd you
do-
like the Tallac hike?
I've done it twice so far. The second time, for some reason, I was having issues. And
Okay.
I think it was because I smoked way too much the night before.
I'll do it.
that'll do it.
So yeah, I made it about 3/4 of the way up, and I'm like, oh, clutching my chest like an old man.
I didn't do Tallac this year. That's rare. I usually do it once a year.
I've done it one time. I will tell you the story of my Tallac hike because it was a bad idea. I'll tell you that right now. This is my senior year of high school, by the way.
Okay.
So the ROTC class that I was in, this was a scheduled, like, they're going to go on the hike. And I had made it a goal for my senior year to actually participate in every event that we did.
Yeah.
Because I was kind of like slacking on some of them, but I'm like, all right. I didn't tell anybody we were going to go, but I was hanging out with a couple of other kids who were going to go. It was a Saturday, we do the hike. Friday night, after we get out of school, we decided I'll hang out. So we're hanging out. It's like Andrew, Anthony, Edward, myself. And we're all just chilling. We decide to take Andrew's car and drive to Reno.
Before the hike?
Yes. Don't ask me why.
Okay.
But we're like, hey, we're going to go, because we were like, let's just go do stuff, whatever. So we drove to Reno. And we're like 19, 18 kids, so we're goofing around, going to the arcades, driving around, doing whatever. Anthony gets a call from his girlfriend. And she wants him to come over. So we drive back from Reno to here to drop him off. Don't ask me why. But we then decided to drive back to Carson. So we drive to Carson. And at this point now, it's like 10:30 at night. And we're like, well, what do you do in Carson at 10:30 at night? Because as you stated, the whole town shuts down. This is before COVID.
Get in trouble.
So things were still open 24/7. We went to a Walmart and got into shenanigans, played around with some stuff, because Walmart at 2 o'clock in the morning is hilarious.
As one does.
Yes, you get bikes off the rack and you ride them around the store until you get yelled at, and that's what we did. At 3 o'clock in the morning, we find ourselves at the other Walmart at the other end of Carson, and like the guys I'm with are like, "Oh, hey, we have to go do this hike at 5 o'clock in the morning," and I'm like, "Well, I'll go with you guys. Like, I'll do it. How hard can it be? It's Tallac, whatever." But I'm like, I didn't tell anybody I was going to participate. So I'm like, whatever, it's fine. But we should go get some 5-hour energy before we go because, we're probably going to need those. So we buy 5-hour energy and chalk.
In case you needed rescue?
No, because I was like, well, how are you supposed to tell people that we're ahead of them? And, maybe in case we need rescue. So we get
like
chalk,
whiteboard chalk.
and like street chalk, like kids chalk.
Okay.
Which is surprisingly hard to find when you're already sleep deprived and you're not sure where it is supposed to be in a store.
Kids section.
Yeah, so we found that and we bought 5-hour energy. We drive to the parking lot of Mount Tallac, out past Baldwin Beach, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's out there. Baldwin. You go past Baldwin Beach. So we parked there, and I wrote this like huge paragraph. Like we just made this great paragraph up about how we beat them here and we're ahead of them and ha 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 ha. And so, confused as hell, the entire group shows up to see Andrew's car already there, and they're like, "Wait a minute, where are they?"
Yeah.
And then one of them realizes there's a note on the ground for the rest of them, which describes slightly what happened. I'm like an hour ahead of them, and we've like chalk marked sections of the trail. We've drawn little doodles. We've really taken our time, like walking up this mountain hike. At some point, I get a phone call from Lacey, and she's like, "Where are you right now?" And I'm like, about an hour ahead of you suckers. You better hurry up this mountain. She's like, what, why? I'm like, don't ask questions. We're just climbing. So we're continuously going. I didn't realize how long of a hike that is.
It's
In the dark.
It's substantial.
Like in the dark, it's not fun.
Yeah.
Because it's all, steps, thankfully.
Yeah.
But it's like, we'd go a little while, and then because we're also now on a 24-hour bender of like sleep deprivation and 5-hour energy, we're like making doodles and like pointing arrows in the different directions. I think at one point Edward like went off to go pee and he took the chalk with him and he just wrote "I peed here" on a rock. And then it was like we just kept going in the dark because Andrew was like, "I've done this before. This is the way we go." So we're going, and finally we get to there's woods up there, and they part.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden you're at like the next top section, and this
Yeah,
is
you're
when
in
they
that
had
bowl.
they had
When
the
you still did the
switchbacks.
switchbacks up the
yeah.
bowl?
Yeah,
And I
this
was
is
like,
where the
oh.
real stairs happen.
I was like, oh, this is the hard part. Like this switchback is gonna kill me. Mind you, I'm wearing cargo pants and a t-shirt because I was unprepared for how windy it was.
Oh, when you crest that ridge?
Oh yeah. Oh, so
Yeah,
we
that's bad.
first switchback, I'm like, all right, that's not so bad. Second switchback, I'm like, okay, one, this is really high. Like the altitude's starting to get to me, and I'm like, it's kind of windy up here. Like, oh, it's next switchback. Okay, finally we get to the top, and it's like, oh, wait a minute, we have to wait for everybody now.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy crap, I'm gonna die of hypothermia before everyone gets here.
Now, did you do this without light?
Yes, no lights at all. we winged it. But the sunrise was beautiful
Oh, I'm sure.
from up there. It was fantastic.
I bet it was spectacular.
It was. And then what's actually really rewarding was the fact that we were on top of the mountain and we got to watch everyone in the group like struggle to come out of the trees. And it's like we're
that
already
would
on the
be
top
the
of the
part
mountain.
that you enjoy.
Yeah, we're already on the top of the mountain. I'm already like, I've already been through all of this pain and suffering. I'm like, this is fantastic. I can watch everyone. I'm like, hurry up, like let's go, people. And so they finally all get up there, and it's like, oh, we take a group photo, and it's like, all right, cool, yay, cool, group photo. I'm like, y'all missed the sunrise because you guys were late. You should have got here earlier. And then we slogged down together, which is not fun.
No, it's a lot harder.
I honestly think down on Tallac is worse than
I
up.
think it is because
There's a trick to it. Well, there used to be a trick. Now you can't do it on the granite shale that they've moved
yeah.
the shale up to. But that bowl on the right, if you're looking up that bowl,
Yeah.
on the right side, it was loose enough that in regular shoes you could basically just ski down the whole thing.
oh, I wish I would have known that.
So it's still like that, but part of the area where you have to go when me and Mike went had snow covering it still, so you had to trudge through it, which is one of the reasons why we didn't
Well,
continue.
you can't hike any of that anymore. Now it goes all the way over onto the face of the mountain on those. I mean, I call
yeah,
it granite
that was-
shale, but these are like 500-pound granite boulders laying on each other that you're just hiking up.
Oh yeah, no, we had this, the switchbacks were nice.
No, they're gone now.
Yeah, and it was, but going down, and also too, which was nice was like it was a whole different experience because I realized all the things we missed in the dark. Like going down, you're like, oh, like the trees. When you get back into the trees, like there's a certain part where you get down off like the trail, and all of a sudden there's like a pond, like a swimming hole.
There's
yeah.
2 ponds.
Yeah,
two of 'em.
and it's like, oh, that wasn't there when we went up. It probably was. I'm glad we didn't fall in it, like in the middle of the dark,
Didn't
scrounging
decide to go
around.
left.
I mean,
Yeah.
the upshot with Tallac is the trail is really well marked.
No,
It's
super
well
easy.
hiked.
Super easy.
After the snow and everything, they had to clear a lot of it out too, so that it was covered a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also slept for about 14 hours afterwards.
I do like the Tallac hike. Have you done Friel yet with him?
I have not done Friel.
Friel's boring.
Which
as
one
shit.
is where's Friel?
Friel is
was-
south of Heavenly.
That was 9 Mile, isn't it?
Depends on which way you do it.
Is
There's
that-
3 ways up it.
Is that off of North Upper Benjamin?
No.
Oh,
No. It's the 3 bald peaks. So it's Friel, Job's, and Job's sister are the 3 bald peaks right next to each other, south of Heavenly, like behind Cold Creek and High Meadow.
Yeah.
Up there, like Friel is. If you go out High Meadow and keep going,
Yeah.
and don't get shot by the guy whose property you walk across,
Yes.
you get to Star Lake.
Okay.
Star Lake sits right below those 3 peaks. And to the south of Star Lake is those 3 peaks. To the north of Star Lake is the top of Sky Chair at Heavenly.
Oh, okay. This is the twins.
Yeah, but there's actually 3 of them there.
Right, but you can see the twins first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the third one's behind it.
Friel's the tallest, Job's is the next, and Job's sister is the shortest of the 3.
That's the one that you can hit from Hope
Hope
Valley
Valley.
too, right?
Yes, that's
Okay.
actually the best way to do it.
And
Is the Hope Valley side?
Isn't that the 9?
I don't know if it's quite 9. It might be 9.
Yeah, it's close to
It's
it.
honestly most of it. You hike up for 3/4 of a mile, and then you hike out for 5 or 6 miles, and then you turn right, and then you go up again. And now it's hiking through the burn scars. So it's even worse. But it was always kind of a boring hike.
Right.
The one that's I like is the opposite side of Hope Valley from that.
Oh, I don't know what that one's called. I know what you're talking about. I don't know what it's called.
I don't know what it's called either. I know that you can go all the way to like, is it Burnside Lake?
Yeah.
You park there, and then you just basically follow there's like one trail there, and you can follow all the way up to the top of that part of the mountain, and then there's that bigger like section of the mountain looks like just a big old rock
Yeah.
on the top of the mountain. That's a fantastic view
Oh, it is.
from up there.
Burnside's where they used to do the old Meat Cutters Music Festival.
No, that's
Like
Blue,
when-
that's Blue Lakes.
It wasn't actually Blue Lakes, though.
No, so it's so you know the road.
Yeah.
I loved going to Meat Cutters.
I never went.
Oh my god, was it? I experienced both versions.
Yeah.
I experienced the crazy like hippie party version, and then afterwards it was just because it was just a family thing, basically.
Oh, the only one I ever knew about was I wouldn't even call them hippies. The guys that I knew that went definitely fought when they were there.
Oh no, so that's the first part.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. So you know where Blue Lakes Road is?
Yeah.
Okay, so Blue Lakes Road is 12 miles, right?
Yeah.
All right. So where you have to go is one of the funny little turnouts that's on that road. And the turnout number should
Yeah, I knew that, but I thought
be-
that's where Burnside Lake was.
No, Burnside is if you go straight from the bottom.
Oh, where 89 and 88 meet?
Yeah, if you go
and you just keep
straight-
going out like where the snowmobiles go in the winter? Okay.
There's a dirt road takes you all the way to Burnside. That's that one. Now, Meat Cutters was over off of Blue Lakes. And it's funny because so you take the turnout, and I think it's 081 is the turnout. So you take this turnout, and it's like this dirt road that you definitely don't want to take like a Honda Civic on for sure. But you take this dirt road and you drive the dirt road all the way to where it turns around. And if you park right there and you walk about 10 feet out, the forest becomes a meadow. Now, a long time ago, that meadow was where they would build a stage. Legitimately, when I was like 7, we were out there. They had a full stage with lights and speakers, and it ran off like 3 generators. And I watched like 4 bands play out there one time. And there's probably like 300 people out there. It was amazing. It was the coolest party I think I've ever experienced in my life. But we used to do that every year.
Really?
Every Memorial Day was Meat Cutters. It was we'd leave Friday, we'd come back Monday.
God, that would seem really early to be out there.
It's a little cold.
I would think there'd still be snow.
Nah, well, a couple of years there was some snow. Actually, one year my mom broke her truck. So it's weird because it's like Blue Lakes opens in different like snow levels.
Yeah.
So the first gate is just past the RV park.
Yeah, I know all the gates.
Yeah, so that first gate, it opens up pretty early.
Okay.
They're pretty loose about opening that gate. It's the second gate that you have to wait for them to open. And that gate was open one year, and I don't think it should have been.
They might have been
I
a
feel
bit
like
presumptuous.
the park ranger was like, I'm not driving back out here. Let's just open it. Because we went out there early, like Thursday. And we drive and we get out there, and it was like, oh, there's no one's here. That's weird. Because usually some of my mom's friends would get out there like Wednesday.
Yeah.
And they just do like 5-7 days. But nobody was there. And it was like, well, where is it? Well, we'll just set up camp. It's fine. And I was like, well, that seems weird. Like, no one's here. So I walked the road from where we were. And I swear, probably not even 100 feet more, because the road kind of turned. I just walked and saw there's like 3 feet of snow. Just there. And I'm like, no one's here because there's a bunch of freaking snow. Like, clearly we're in the wrong spot. Turns out everyone had parked 2 turnouts back at a different campground where there was no snow. It was nice. We didn't know that Thursday. We found that out Friday when somebody came out to drive to check to see if anyone else had made the mistake of going out to where we were. So we pack up all of our stuff, and my mom drove us, and she drops us off. I was with Anthony. I brought him out. And she drops us off, and she's like, all right, I'm going to go back and get the other stuff. You guys set up the tents and stuff. So we set the tents up, and we're just hanging out, chilling. It's like, at this point, like it's like a family thing. It was like a family reunion. Like, you bump into people you haven't seen for a whole year.
Okay.
And it's like, some of the kids are my age, some of the kids are older, and then it's like all the deadhead parents that are all, just they'll tell you like on the way to a dead show stories for days, which is fantastic. Those are the best. I don't care. Not the band camp stories, not as good as on the way to a dead show or coming back from a dead show. Those are the best stories you'll ever hear in your life. But so it's like we're just hanging around, and usually what we would do is we'd have one big campfire community area, and then everyone else would set their tents up kind of randomly, and then you have your own little campfire, whatever. So we're out there, and I swear, dude, half the day goes by, and my mom hasn't come back. And I'm like, that seems weird. Like maybe she missed a turn, or like maybe she went to the house or something. I don't know. So we're waiting. And I'm like walking around, I'm like, is anyone see my mom at all? And I'm like, no. And I'm like, all right. Now I'm getting a little worried. Like, I need someone to take me back out to where we were. So we drive back out to where we'd been. The camp is completely cleaned up, and my mom is nowhere in sight. And I'm like, all right, this is getting a little worrisome now. It turns out that my mom, she had missed the turn to go like down and out to the highway because it forks.
Yeah.
And she had gone up one hill, had a seizure, and then plowed her Bronco into a snow berm.
Oh.
And broke the drive shaft. And then she got out and decided to hike through the woods to the camping spot. Because by the time we got back, she was there without the truck. And I was like, what happened to you? She's like, I had a seizure. And then I had to walk back here. And I was like, what? No, you didn't. You could have just stayed with the car. We would have came and checked on you. I was like, let alone, how are we going to get the car out from where we were? That was you've never seen a Bronco get towed by a station wagon to get out of a snow berm.
I have never seen that.
Yeah, it was. We got it. It was like one of those Ford station wagons. It was to pull the Ford Bronco out, and then it didn't have a drive shaft. But because you're going downhill from Blue Lakes, we just coasted it to where we were camping. And we like, all right, cool. We can just park here. We'll deal with it on Monday when we actually have to leave because we're already here. It's like we're not going to go anywhere. And then that was like getting the AAA to come out to tow that was the greatest. We're like on the Blue Lakes Road a couple of miles in, but not too far in. And thankfully the guy came and it was, but it was fun. Good times.
All right.
Camping out there is fantastic, by the way.
Yeah, camping at Blue Lakes. If you go all the way back
Not in,
to like the PGA or the PG&E campground.
yes.
All the way back.
All the way back.
Those are cool.
Yeah. The drive out there is fantastic.
Yeah.
Just not around Memorial Day.
No, again, a bit early.
Yeah, because one of those times we were out there, it's the temperature shift is impressive
Oh yeah.
because it goes from 85 hot, where you're happy to jump in the river because it's like 30 degrees, to the sun just went down and now it's 36 degrees outside, and I'm freezing.
Is that
Well, that's
that's the wind off the water, isn't it?
No, it's just because there's no urban structures that hold heat.
well, and it's the elevation too.
Yeah.
The difference between 6,000 or 6,500 feet where we are now, from day to night, and the difference between day to night at 8,000 or 8,500 feet
Drastic.
is big.
Very drastic.
There was a guy in here. He's coming back for his 60th birthday, middle of October, like October 14th. And I'm talking to him. He's like, well, how cold is it gonna be in October? And I'm like, you'll be all right. You're still walking around like shorts and a hoodie, so probably okay. At night it'll be a little chilly. And he goes, all right, that doesn't sound so bad. And I go, where are you staying? And he goes, oh, I don't know, Timmer Way. And I go, Tramway? He goes, yeah, that's it. I go, it's going to be a lot colder there.
Oh, yeah.
He goes, well, I've only seen photos of it. Where is it? And I go, top of the mountain.
Top of the world, baby. Top of the world.
Nice view though.
Yeah.
It gets cold up there. When I worked at
Oh, at
Wyndham,
night?
oh
Yeah.
my God.
I used to go with Dad when he had to work Heavenly
Yeah.
for not ski patrol, but like the security aspect at night.
Yeah.
It was always freezing.
Oh, up there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's chilly up there.
Yeah, no, but one of those nights camping, was you're used to it, right? Because we've done it for so many years. We've been used to it. It's like you put a sleeping bag down, and then you put about 6 blankets on top of you, and then you put one over your head, so that the carbon dioxide you're breathing out creates like a heat blanket inside.
You know, now they just make sleeping bags for that.
Forget that. That's expensive. We couldn't afford this stuff, right? But one night, I had my own car this time. One night we just go to bed. Like, all right, it's cold, whatever. Wake up when the sun comes up, and I'm like, oh, it's still really cold. I don't know why. Open up the tent door. There's 3 inches of snow outside.
Yep.
It had snowed overnight.
We did. I remember the first time we went snow camping as a family.
Like
Like, on snow?
Like the tents were on snow.
Like, you're going up Mount Everest on snow?
No, I mean, it was Yosemite. But it was Yosemite in February.
Why?
I don't know. We got a wild hair. My
Okay.
parents were like, we're going snow camping. We were pretty well prepared, and it wasn't that bad. But it's a lot different than camping.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's called survival.
Yeah.
That's not camping. That's called survival. That's fucking daring the elements to kill you and be like, yeah, let's see what happens.
Well,
Why
then
not?
you move up here, and you're like, oh, snow camping's no big deal.
That is true.
Now, I've lived here for 30 years. I've never gone snow camping. I've camped when it then snowed afterwards.
See, I've done it in an old style Hoover tent, which has no way to insulate at all. It's a little bit.
Turns out the insulation of the tent's really irrelevant.
Yeah.
You need a good pad
Yep.
and a good sleeping bag.
See, I didn't know that.
And then you're good.
I had-
Like, you have those two things, and you're fine.
I had a blanket underneath, and then I had a thick, like really plush blanket, and I was camping with my son, and he took all the blankets, and I'm like, all right, it's fucking cold.
See, we
Thankfully, someone in my family was prepared enough to be like, what kind of pads do we need that are different than what we normally have?
See.
See?
We learned after a while, closer to when we stopped going, but like the last couple of years we were going, that a cot
Oh, yeah, cots work pretty well.
much nicer than sleeping on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also a lot easier to keep yourself toasty on a cot.
Yes.
Yeah. Turns out it's great. And then I just discovered that sleeping in the car was way easier. Then you're just in a really warm car. That's perfect.
I do think the first time we went snow camping, we had a big conversion van.
Yeah.
I think my sister and the friend that she brought slept in the van.
Perfect. The car makes an excellent tent.
Yeah. Well, we had those captain's chairs that laid all the way down.
Oh,
so
yeah.
and then the back seat laid down into a bed,
yeah.
so they were in heaven.
Yeah.
See, most of my experiences camping when I was a kid was out there at Lake Mead.
Okay.
Lake Mead
Oh,
was
there you go.
always nice to camp as a kid, and we'd drive out, find a secluded area, and set up the tents. Same tent I still have today.
Yeah.
And I would just hang out, fish all day, and then go to sleep.
Yeah, we camped as kids. We camped all over the Sierra Nevadas. I mean, Yosemite was always once a year, but we would take 3 or 4 trips during the year. Because it was different though too. Less so when I moved up here. One, because it's more accessible.
Yeah.
And you just camp wherever you want, whenever you want.
Yeah. That's the nice part about it.
But also, when I was in Southern California as a kid, we'd already gone down there, like way before any other school districts, to year-round schooling. So you have a lot of smaller breaks. Like our summer break was really short, but we had multiple week breaks throughout the school year.
Oh, okay.
So we had a lot of time to do stuff,
Yeah.
which honestly, much better way to go to school
Oh, no, for sure. The year-round school system needs to be adopted
everywhere.
like everywhere. It really does. Because it just works.
It does really well.
Yeah. Teachers get paid better.
Yeah, first time I ever had like a traditional summer, like a 2.5 month summer, was up here.
Yeah.
And you run out of shit to do.
You really do.
Yeah.
You get bored, and then you're like, dude, this sucks.
You get to the 4th of July, and then you're like, wait, we're still off for 6 more weeks?
Yeah, we do. I remember, seriously, like, there's some summers where it was like, you get to the beach and you're just like, I'm tired of being at the beach.
Honestly, it was worse. It was worse in middle school because in high school, I started playing football, and you would start football like 3 weeks before school started.
Yeah, we
Well,
used to do that
especially because all the schools in Nevada started 2
2
weeks ahead of us.
Before everyone else, yeah.
So our first game would be we would have played 2 games before we ever started school.
yeah.
So our first game was 2 weeks before we went back to school. So we started Hell Week 4 weeks before school started.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would do
So
ROTC that way. Like
You were
a
back
week
with your
ahead.
friends like way before school started doing stuff. And Hell Week, you're up there 6 hours a day.
Yeah. Yeah. No, ROTC was like 2 weeks before school. We do like a week long like program to let kids get used to the program and stuff.
Yeah.
That was nice. It was like, oh, all right, cool. We're back to something normal.
Yeah. But for the football guys and the cheerleaders and probably the cross country team.
Yeah, I was gonna say track field too.
Not track and field, cross
Or
country.
cross country.
Track and field was spring. But cross country, like all of us would be back up in the locker room and doing stuff and seeing each other a month early. Like school would start September something. Back then.
Usually it was like the first Tuesday after Labor Day or something.
Yeah.
It was late.
But our first game was usually like August 20th.
Yeah, because the other Nevada guys are already.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they start school August, like the first
That
week
was-
of August usually.
I know everyone's like, our refs are terrible, but when you're the only California school in a Nevada league, your refs are terrible. We would get calls that just didn't even make sense. Oh my God. We had this one guy, he played quarterback, a bunch of other things. Only freshman year. Then he stopped playing quarterback. Then he wasn't big enough. And his arm wasn't strong enough. But we ran, freshman year, we ran like a variation on the option. So he was fine. We returned a kickoff all the way back to like the 15 to the 20-yard line.
Nice.
And then he did something stupid and got an unsportsmanlike. And then the coach was screaming at him and got another unsportsmanlike.
Oh.
And then he was screaming back and got another unsportsmanlike.
Oh, so you ran back to go back to where you.
And then I think we ended up with a false start the next play.
Oh, bro.
So we were all the way back on like the 15, and we lost like 70 yards in penalties.
That sounds like our football
I
team.
swear that was and none of us had to do it. Game ended, we lost. We're leaving the field, and the coach grabs this player by the fucking pads, and he goes, "You're not done." So our field was in a bowl. You know the field.
The high school field?
Yeah.
Yes.
You remember the hill trail?
Yes.
So he ran like 10 hills
Oh.
after the game.
Oh, that's rough.
in full gear.
Yeah.
Oh, that's rough. That trail's not fun.
Well,
No, it's a solid quarter-mile trail.
It's and it goes up.
It's a decent-sized hill.
well, the question is, did he learn anything?
No, God, no.
He learned that running the trail is a terrible, terrible option.
The first time I ever saw him learn anything, so we had this fullback who was 265 pounds. Sophomore year. Had a secondary tear in his arm and could still bench press like 4 1/4. Just gigantic human being.
monster. What the hell? Human
sounds
being.
like
It's
a monster.
Gigantic human
Yeah.
being.
Jesus.
Dude, in high school, I don't know what happened. Actually, I know, I don't know what happened between high school and like 10 years later. I ran into him 10 years later. Nicest guy on the planet. He's a tattoo artist. Like, has an upstanding business in San Diego. Great guy. Something happened. But in high school, threw 3 punches. Not 3 fights, 3 punches. Actually, 2 punches and a slap.
Oh,
And shattered 3 jaws.
damn.
Just a big dude. Anyway, so we're running Scout Team D versus First Team O. And this massive fullback is out there. Now, this guy that was the quarterback, had already tackled one of our receivers low and put him out for the season because he bent his knee backwards. And the big fullback took him aside and was like, don't do that. This is practice, and it's your team.
It's practice. We're talking about practice.
So we run the play, and little guy tackles big guy super low, like at the knee. And big guy picks him up, slams him down, and then punches him in the helmet hard enough that Jim got up and was like stumbling.
So he DDT'd him and then hit him.
Wow.
And said, I told you not to fucking do that.
And that's the bottom line. That's impressive.
I also saw him get DDT'd by one of the Samoan kids on another team,
Oh.
Oh, Samoa.
who I was actually buddies with because we both were throwers on the track team, on opposing track teams, but the throwers don't give a shit.
No.
We're buddies, we're barbecuing while everyone else is taking track seriously. And he went to UCLA, I think, on a track scholarship. He could really throw, but he didn't care. Like, we're just having fun. We would be out there, we would literally bring barbecues. At some point, one of the coaches was like, guys, this really isn't fair to the rest of the team. And we're looking at him, we're like,
That sounds
are
like-
you going to stop us?
That
Are
sounds
you
like a personal
hoping that
problem.
we're going to stop on our own? He's like, well, I wasn't planning on stopping you. Like, good, then we got burgers to cook.
Do you want some?
Anyway, so I knew this thrower who was really cool, massive human being. And on a kickoff play, dude that was the little quarterback tackled this guy low.
Oh.
And he also picked him up and threw him on the ground like a little rag doll. Yeah.
And said, don't do that.
Now the question is,
No,
did he
no.
get a penalty for it?
Yes, he did. He actually got a penalty for that.
Oh.
But that was one of those penalties that you know you're getting.
Yeah.
It just is. Sometimes I had a dude hit me upside the head with a cast. He had his arm in a cast, and it was wrapped really well. And I came off. I was playing I would shift from linebacker to edge rusher, and I came off the edge, and he just goes, "Bah!" What the hell was that? And timeout. Coach is like, "You fine?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm probably gonna get a flag on the next play. He goes, "Okay."
Oh, one of them Oakland Raider Jack Taylor accidents.
I mean, he wasn't a massive guy. He was playing tackle. He was probably 255, pretty small guy by tackle terms, even in
Right.
high school. And I came off the line. Their quarterback wasn't very good. Came off the line, picked him up inside the shoulder pads, ran to the quarterback, and threw him on the quarterback. Sure enough.
Yeah, unsportsmanlike conduct. You can't beat a motherfucker with a motherfucker. 15-yard penalty. Replay. Third down.
He didn't club me again, though.
Yeah, I bet not. You threw him into another human being.
He learned his lesson pretty quick.
He went, oh shit, that guy's for real.
I was pissed.
Well, you got clubbed.
Back in the huddle lane's like, let number 15 through. Everyone's like, what? You're like, let number 15 through. He's mine.
Those were fun days. High school in Tahoe was fun.
I liked high school up here.
So was junior college. Junior college up here was fun, too.
Well, I've come to realize that when I think back, high school was fun. I didn't like it at the time, but I miss it.
I didn't like Tahoe at the time. I thought I should be living on the beach where I was when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That was my problem with Tahoe. I didn't realize how much Tahoe had grown on me until I left college and went back to Orange County. And then it was an hour to get anywhere. I couldn't mountain bike. I couldn't ski. I couldn't do any of the things
All the stuff you grew up doing.
all the fun stuff.
unless I drove an hour.
Yeah.
And I went, this is terrible.
Stupid. What the fuck?
What am I doing here?
No, it's weird, because yeah, you were imported,
Yeah.
but for us, school up here is a totally different experience, right? Because it's when I went through elementary school, there was there's 5 of them, I think. Yeah,
There were 5.
There were 5 elementary schools.
Yeah.
And then it was like,
I can still name them off. Well, I can name off at least 4. There might have been 4.
well, let's see, you had Tahoe, Myers, Sierra House,
Bijou.
Bijou. Okay, maybe there's 4. But yeah, so there's the 4. And it was like you grew up with the people in that elementary school.
Yeah.
And then you got to middle school where all the schools combined. But you still like had your clique of the people from your elementary school. And it was fun to get to high school and still have like the same clique of people you knew from your elementary school.
I only did 1 year of elementary school here.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't have that clique.
Yeah, no, it's hilarious because you get to high school and you're like looking around, and like my high school yearbook was legitimately signed probably about 50 of the kids that I went to elementary school with. And you just go back and it's like, wow, we all spent 12 years together doing this school thing. And it's like you've just seen how people grow, and it's crazy. Like, those are the people you want to see in your high school reunion. It's the people who you went to elementary school with. You don't care about anybody else.
I've never gone to a high school reunion.
I've never gone to one either. We were supposed to have one, but we just never did.
There's only one person left from high school that I talked to, really.
I mean, COVID happened during mine, so we didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think COVID happened during mine, so we didn't get to go.
Yeah.
But none of us. It's weird now too, because it's like it doesn't matter. Like, we're all on Facebook.
Yeah, you
That's
can
true.
find them whenever you want.
Like, the people you care about, you're just on your Facebook profile, and you're like, oh, hey, happy birthday, congrats on your baby.
Yeah.
Good, glad to see your business is doing good. You don't have to like go to high school now to see that. You're just like, yeah, we're doing good. Okay, cool.
I like your story about like having the same clique from elementary because
It's legit, like legitimately, and those are the people when they go to the club. Like, if they come up here in club and they're visiting, they'll stop by, and you're like, oh my god, hey! It's like but you look at me like, dude, I can't believe we went to elementary school together.
I only remember like a handful of people from elementary, and even then, I don't even remember their names. I just remember what they looked like when we were kids.
Yeah,
And-
see, that's the thing is like I could tell you probably 15, 20 kids names from elementary school that I grew up with.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. I could tell you the biggest thing that I remember was the schoolyard brawl that turned into like everyone fighting in elementary down in Henderson. Gordon McCaw, whole schoolyard just fighting one after another, and there's just a group of us. And I'm not gonna lie, I tore through some of them, but I got my ass whooped.
That's fair. I was kind of like a dick in elementary school. Like, I know,
What?
big surprise. But I
So
remember
you stayed the same.
One time I just like saw this kid running and I just tripped him, and he like full Superman, and then skid across like the pavement. I can't tell you why I did it, but it was impressive.
I could tell you my favorite one. It didn't happen to me, but one of my buddies was walking down a ramp with 2 rails. This was in high school, and another kid, special needs, coming up, and the special need kid wasn't moving, and he kept walking towards him, and the kid just threw him over the rails and kept going. It was a fun thing to watch.
Actually, now that I think about it, me and Anthony met at a school fight.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, we were. That's how we became friends. He threw a punch at me. I grabbed his arm, twisted around, and threw him over my shoulder. And he landed on the ground, looked at me, and was like, "That's pretty cool." And I was like, "That was pretty cool." Friendship. That's how our friendship started.
Oh my god, I didn't fight in school. I wasn't.
What?
You
oh
weren't
god,
allowed
Oh,
to.
big surprise.
I wasn't allowed to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because the one time that you almost got into
I
a
was
fight,
big.
Yeah, because he was government issued. He's not.
I can tell you when I was like when it became a thing. I was 6. I was 6.
you were a monster. At
This was
6,
the
got
last
it.
fight I was in until senior year of high school. No, I knocked out a 9-year-old.
And you were 6.
I was 6.
Man, you're such a bully.
It was probably
Right?
a tiny 9-year-old.
His mom saw it was the problem. Funniest part about that. So it was Tim and Chris. Tim was the older one. Chris was younger than I was. He was my brother and sister's age. He was my brother's friend. So we're all walking back from the bus stop in Southern California. It's Chris and my brother, and this girl, Charisse, and my sister. And Tim was walking next to the girls, and I was sort of walking alone behind everybody. And I don't know what I don't know if my sister said it or Sharice said it, but one of them said something. And Tim looks over at one of them and goes, "Why are you such a bitch?"
Oh. Fight time.
And so in front of his mom and my mom, they were down, like, all the streets were like cul-de-sacs. You entered them from the outside. There were cul-de-sacs and there was a center street. And all the parents would come out on the cul-de-sacs and wait for the kids to walk down to the bus stop. And he says that, and I walk up behind him, and I turn him around, and I go, "Dink," and he just crumbles. And then starts crying and runs off. Didn't hear anything else about it. My dad gets home, still don't hear anything about it. About an hour goes by, and Tim's dad shows up at our house and fucking pounding on the door.
Oh, he's angry.
And my dad opens the door, obviously.
Very calm.
And he's like, "What can I do for you?" And I remember his dad's name. His dad's like, he's like, "Lane punched out my kid. That's ridiculous, this and that, whatever." And my dad, thinking the thing that makes sense, goes, "Why did Lane hit Chris?" Right? Like the 5-year-old. And his dad goes, "Not Chris, Tim." My dad looks at him and he goes, "Wait, let me get this straight. Lane knocked out your 4th grader, and you think your time is best spent here complaining to me about it?" But then after he left, I got all right, look, you're bigger than all of these kids.
Yep. You can't be doing that.
You could really hurt somebody.
Yep.
And that was the last, like, if I did anything physical with anybody, I took a massive beating.
No, I got that speech too.
I think we all got
And
that speech.
then I had a junior who was trying to take my position. I was actually a junior. He was a sophomore. I was going into my senior year, and he was mouthing off for months in the spring about taking my spot on the football team in the fall. And I just started making fun of him. For like a week and a half, I just make fun of him in the weight room.
Oh.
Fucking just being a dick.
Oh, you? No.
And we're in the locker room after weights one day, and he fucking starts jaw jacking. And I'm like, "Look, this isn't going to happen. Like, I don't throw the first punch, and you're too much of a bitch." And I start to turn and walk away, and he just socked me in the head. And then he jumps on me and throws me in a headlock and starts throwing some more punches. And I was smart enough to just duck him. I hadn't been in a fight ever, really, but I'm ducking him, so I'm catching him on my forehead, which got pretty scarred up. He broke his hand, I think. And then I picked him up, like, I didn't know. I was like, "Oh, shit, I should do something about this." So I pick him up off the ground and huck him into some lockers. And he bounces off the lockers, stands up, looks at me, realizes he's thrown everything he's got, and I'm just standing there, and then bolts.
He's like, "Fuck this."
Yeah.
Just rabbits.
I'll tell you the worst one I was in was some kid hit me in the head with the tetherball. And I wrapped the tetherball around his neck. And if the teacher hadn't come out, I probably would have killed him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Then they gave me that, like, speech about you can't be doing those violent things. And I was like, "Oh, okay." He started it.
Yeah. It's his fault.
I finished it.
I didn't necessarily, like, I threw one punch, and I felt like it was,
Substantial.
earned.
Yeah. No, that's
was.
fair. That's fair.
Did Dad know it was?
And then
ours?
I got the speech. Yeah, he got the full story. And listen, my dad he's still going to get on you for doing something like that, but he's also understanding of the situation. And then after the one in high school, they were like, if someone actually hits you, you can fight back. And I was like, yeah.
Oh, you told me nothing physical.
That was.
And then after that in college, I went to work as a door guy and got punched literally all the time.
Yeah.
And threw people out.
Yep.
Like, I enjoy this. Let's go get some more punishment.
Dude, that job was so much fun.
What?
So
being
much
a door
fun.
guy?
Oh, yeah.
Just because you got the.
And I
fire
didn't get to
time?
do it very long because I moved up pretty fast.
Yeah.
But like working mosh pits, getting into
No,
scraps,
I
like with a big staff on your back.
I watched Roadhouse.
Listen-
I know what you enjoy.
Listen, I still like that one that you tell us about the little guy and the big guy. Your big bouncer.
Which one?
I think it was during a concert into the speaker.
Into this. Oh, no. So he wasn't little. Paul was, so the bouncer,
Yeah, he was big.
who was the head of security at the time, was 415 pounds ish. And he was, he was a tackle at UCLA. He was a tackle.
Big dude.
Yeah, he was big, powerful. Like, probably had a 600 or 700 pound squat still. Gigantic human being. He wore a 4X shirt. Staff on the back of a 4X shirt is gigantic. So Paul's way of controlling a mosh pit, because we allowed mosh pits, was to stand dead center. And if you weren't hitting him, it was under control. And so I walk up as this dude who's my size, probably a little bigger than I was, 235, 240, is moshing around, pretty drunk, going around in circles, doing his thing. And he comes around, and as I walk up, the timing was perfect. I walk up to the edge of the mosh pit, and I see him stop. Like, he looks over and sees 4X staff on Paul's back. Looks at it for a second, and then the original. I think it's the original. Might be one of the first 3 Star Wars.
Yeah.
Where Darth Vader goes aggressively at someone, but he leans back first and then steps in.
Yeah.
That's what this guy looked like. He looks at Paul, squares to Paul's back. Paul has no idea it's coming, and then leans back and then just charges and just throws into Paul's back. Paul, all 400 pounds and change, goes, "Dude," about like that. And then looks over his shoulder, sees this dude, reaches behind him, grabs him by the throat, pulls him up onto his forearm, over his shoulder, steps forward, and slams him on the speaker box that were just in front of the stage. And while this happened, there are 3 door guys and me that are all jumping on Paul to save this kid's life.
Don't kill him.
I'm serious, dude. It would have been perfect because all 4 of us in slow motion was just going, no. It was bad.
What's that one where you grab those 2 guys and on camera it just looks like they disappear?
One guy. I didn't even do anything to this guy. It was just the way the lighting and the camera existed. So there's a fight going on at the bar. Different bar.
Yeah. Oh, different
Fight
bar,
going on in this bar. And where the camera was, so bar was like this. Fight was here by the door. Camera was looking down this way, right? And I was up at the door doing something, saw the fight, went in, and there's 6 of us that are breaking up this fight. There's door guys in the middle of it. And all you see on camera is my arms and my face come through the light. You couldn't see my body because of the way the shadow exists, right? And I reached forward and I grabbed this guy and I yank him back.
Like a demon in the shadows.
But I yanked him back and then I just pushed him towards the door to another door guy. That's all that happened. But all you see on camera is this guy throwing punches, and then you see just my face and my arms.
Just a blue-eyed devil smiling.
Hook him
grabbing
around hook him right here, right below the rib cage, and I pulled him back hard enough that he did this. And you see him just disappear into the shadows, and then you never see him again.
He was dragged to hell. He didn't make it out the door.
He's dead.
Dude, all the other guys that worked at that bar are like, what did you do to him? Did you kill him? I'm like, no, I gave him to whoever. And they're like, sure you did.
Yeah,
you
sure.
killed him.
Yeah, he's gone.
And the door guy's like, you didn't give him to me. I saw
It
a
was-
pit open up, and
I
he
never
fell
seen that guy
in.
before in my life.
By far the best video of a dude getting thrown out I've ever seen. It just looks so good. You couldn't have choreographed it better with planned lighting on a movie set. It looks so good.
man.
I wish I had that. Yeah.
I mean, if you had that video, we'd make it something.
Just dubbed over with the guy, and they go, yeah. No.
No, I mean, it
Will
wasn't
Held
even that
straight.
spectacular in real life, but watched on camera was amazing.
Yeah. Camera makes everything better. This is fantastic.
Oh my God, that was fun. Yeah. Oh, I had fun as a fucking work in bars.
Bars, yeah.
Like those are like college bars, not like serious clubs. Like, college bars owned by a guy, who's probably not even there.
Yeah.
Like, just so much fun.
Yeah, because he's just raking in money and allowing the staff to take care of it.
Yeah, and you're working with like 12 to 15. Like my door staff was 12 to 15 guys on any given night, plus all my bartenders, plus my barbacks. And where this town, all those guys were either college athletes or training to be professional fighters. Everyone that worked for me.
Yeah.
Like I had this star shot putter for the university, like just massive human beings or dudes that were so well trained it didn't matter. And here I'm telling these guys what to do.
And they're all terrified of you.
Oh my God, they were so much fun.
What was the thing that scared them the most about you?
There were two things apparently. One, every fight, like as soon as I knew that it was going to be a fight, because I would walk up to guys and tell them, like, just give them the deal. Like, all right, guys, you're done for the night. Usually a door guy would come and get me. They'd already talked to him, and then would be like, I will talk to your manager. All right, show up. I'd walk up, like, here's the deal, guys. You got to go. Well, no. You got to go. Too much has happened. We got to get you out. I go, it's not permanent. It's like, it's not a thing.
It's just for the night.
Next time you come back, come and get me. I'll get you guys a round of drinks. But for tonight, in this bar, you're done. There were like 8 other bars downtown, so what did it really matter? And most of the time, as soon as you're like, dude, come back next time, I'll buy you a round. They're like, cool. And they take off and go to another bar. Sometimes it didn't. And I was pretty good at reading when it was going to go bad. So apparently, as soon as I knew it was going to go bad, I would bury my hands in my pockets and roll my shoulders. Someone actually showed me what it looked like. It's not the greatest look ever. But my thumbs would stay out of my pockets, but my hands would go into my pockets.
Yeah, because you don't want your thumbs.
And
to
I'd
get
roll
caught.
my shoulders back. At every time. And no one standing in front of me ever hit me. Even with my hands in my pockets, starting my pockets. Never happened.
Yeah.
I got hit from behind a couple times. And then the other thing, there was one time I got hit really fucking hard. Like really hard. And I turned around and there were door guys over here. The guy that hit me was here. So I turned back after taking this blow to the face. There's no evidence of this. This is all hearsay.
Oh, right. Hearsay.
And the guys were like, so yeah, about that. I'm like, what about that? They're like, smile on your face after you got punched. A little bit crazy. Yeah.
See, and I'm the weird one for wanting a padded room. You earned it with that smile.
I didn't. Okay, here was the
He
real
enjoys
thing.
a fight.
That
That's
is
different
true.
than wanting to be in the crazy house.
When I
is
was
true.
22, I didn't mind getting punched in the face. Like it wasn't a thing. It didn't hurt. What it did was take the handcuffs off. Like all of a sudden, you've been punched in the face. All
Flip
bets
of
are
the
off.
switch.
Yeah. You're like, oh, I don't have to be constrained anymore.
I was given permission. If I got hit, you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember, if somebody hits you, it's cool to hit them back. Once you take the safety off,
That
Lane's
said-
like, all right.
That said, I never hit anybody. I never punched anybody. I just choked a lot of people
Yeah, I
out.
was going to say, you just choke them out.
Yeah.
You're like, go to sleep, bitch, go to sleep.
Which today you'd get in massive amounts of trouble for.
You ready
Yeah.
to go night-night?
But-
you ready to go night-night?
20 years ago, no one cared. You just fucking hook them up and put them to bed.
That is true. I've done it a couple of times, but yeah.
I've actually told guys, I'd hooked them up. I'd be like, come on, let's go. They're like, no. I'm like, look, you want to walk out. Like, let's go. You don't want to fight me now. Why? Because if you do, you're going to wake up in about 20 seconds with a headache. Fuck that. Shh. Come on. Come on.
Wakey, wakey.
Like, why does my head hurt? I don't know.
I told you. I warned you, didn't I?
Yeah, it looks like the hangover caught up quickly.
Dude, the first guy I ever choked out, I did on accident. I only had him with one arm.
And how was that an accident?
We had a bunch of like decorative posters and shit because we had won a bunch of beer awards because we were a brewery. So they're all over the place. And I was at the bottom of the stairs and this guy walks down and there's one at the corner on the stairwell. And he just grabs it and fucking yanks it and throws it off. Him and his buddy. Like, run down the stairs, and I hook them both up. So I've got one guy around the head like this, that way. And then I've got another guy, and I couldn't get him as well. I had his arm. And he's trying to throw punches at me with his other arm. So I've got this guy hooked up. And this guy, I'm just muscling his arm into positions where he can't throw a punch at me. So he's like, when he would try and throw a punch, I would just shift his body over one way so he couldn't make contact.
And then hold his buddy up so he keeps punching his buddy in the
Well,
face.
no. They were on completely different sides of me. So I'm just holding this guy because he's like kneeing me in the back. And this guy I'm trying to keep from punching me. Another door guy shows up finally, grabs this dude, and then I turned to this dude. And I went to let my arm go. I didn't realize at that moment that he'd stopped kneeing me in the back. But I let my arm go, and he just dropped.
Oops.
Oh shit, I killed a man.
And then one of the other door guys is standing there. He goes, "Is he unconscious?" I'm like, no, it's fine, I'm sure. Just slap a few times. He fucking wakes up, and he's like, "Oh, my head hurts." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know what that's from." Yeah.
That guy's going to watch this podcast and go, I remember that asshole.
That guy. Fucking dick. I remember that guy.
But yeah, that was the first time it ever happened. And it was, I wasn't trying to, I was legitimately just trying to keep him at bay while I was dealing with his buddy.
But after that, you were hooked.
Well, I just realized it was so easy.
Yeah, see, that's why you became the strangler.
Yeah. I did not. Knock it off.
But if you were to become one, that'd be it.
The West Coast Strangler. Hasn't been seen since 2006.
It's ridiculous. Oh, my God. No, college was a blast, though. And then at some point, it got even better, too, because we were the busiest bar in town, and I was the manager. So, there was a point where I would go into classes completely outside my department. I don't know anybody. It wasn't a huge school, but there's 16,000, 17,000 people at the school.
Oh, yeah.
Walk into classes with no one I know, and people just look at me like, "Hey, you're that dude from the bar." Yeah. They're like, no, we never met. I see you in the bar all the time. I'm like, okay, cool. What's your name? We start talking.
Hey, you're the guy from the bar. Yes, I am.
So being in a bar is what made you more of a people person or more sociable?
Oh, dude, I was deathly afraid of public speaking forever. Not so much working in the bar there, standing behind a bar, actually tending bar, because you don't have a choice but to talk to people.
Right.
Especially after you leave the club scene and you're bartending in little small bars or you're bartending a day shift. Because usually, unless it's just a nightclub, you've got shifts. You get a handful of really good shifts, and then you've got some crap shift where during the day, you've got the townies. They're going to come in and tell you stories, and you're just going to talk. So at some point, you just have to talk to these people.
That's like in here. That's how I became more sociable as this
Yeah,
place.
it's just like
same
this
thing.
place, except you're far more trapped,
And you have booze.
and you have booze.
Yeah.
Not that we don't have booze, but,
I mean, we can't sell booze, so we just drink them ourselves
one day.
One day.
someday.
Soon.
Anyway, how long have we been doing this tonight?
We're almost at 2 hours. We've been telling stories for almost 2 hours.
You guys want to tell us more stories? You want to get out of here?
Story time with Lane.
Right?
Hey, Casey had some good stories tonight,
I
too.
did. I had some.
It wasn't
I
all me tonight.
I'll share some stuff. I got stories.
What's the summary on the whiskeys? If you find a single malt you like, that's what you should drink when you're smoking a cigar.
Yeah, I would say if you find a single malt, it does hold up to smoking.
Yeah, the barley definitely stands up better than corn, wheat. Rye stands up pretty well.
Yeah.
But I'm not convinced I think that's partially because oftentimes there's malted barley blended in with rye.
It's got to be the barley. It's got to be some kind of combination.
I think that's the deal.
And just stay away from the weeders.
That said, we're going to keep tasting bourbons in flights
Yeah, no. It's,
and, making fools of ourselves.
Yeah, we'll make the mistake so you don't have to.
Yeah, 100% what Kevin just said.
That's what we're here for.
So
We drink the booze so you don't have to.
if you made it this far in our episode, I hope you leave a comment, like and subscribe.
Oh, genius.
Oh, what are we doing?
Liking,
And subscribing? Subscribing.
Comments are good. You can
Subscriptions,
even
comments.
recommend stuff to us, and we'll try it.
Yeah,
Actually, I want that. I want to have enough people. Listen, God forbid, people actually like us. Have enough people that we can do this live once a week, and we can respond to people's questions.
Oh, it'd be great.
'Cause
to
that'd
do
be
that.
fun.
I'm wondering if we ever went live, if it might actually work out and improve us a little bit more.
No, because you need the populace to be there. Because
True.
it won't trigger just randomly, or if it does, we'd be in a sea of other live people,
That is true.
and we're not beating Fortnite live Twitchers right now. So
No.
Yeah, that's fair.
Fortnite's a little cooler than we are at this point.
And on that bombshell,
Terrible bombshell.
to say goodnight.
Wait, there's some news. The Dacia Sendero.
Thanks for watching.